Hey everyone, this is Stephen here from Alive on One, um, a miniature something or other. I don't ever do the intros, so forgive me. So due to kind of lack of time, everyone's getting kind of busy around the holidays, but we wanted to just release something for Thanksgiving. For those who are not from the United States, this holiday has some interesting history, but these days, you can recontextualize it to be more about giving and thanking and being grateful for what's going on in your life. That's good. So that being said, due to scheduling and lots of different things, we were going to do an episode with Jin. Jin just TO'd a tournament last night and got home pretty late, so we were unable to make it work, but that should be upcoming. Um, but we just wanted to kind of say from Alive on One to everyone here, we're only like a 5-month-old podcast. We recently just hit over 2,000 unique listeners. And so with that, we just kind of wanted to say, we hope every one of our listeners, even if you're not from the US, have kind of a great holiday. We're kind of in a lull time with MCP right now. So we appreciate your patronage and listening to our content. And to be honest, to give some context, just to kind of fill in until next week where we are back to our kind of regularly scheduled content, Nick, Steven, and I all kind of created this. It actually came about randomly. I have some previous experience with audio recording a long time ago. Used to mix beats for some rappers in New York City. So I have all kind of the audio equipment and skill to sort of edit all this stuff and put out some content. And so I know Steven and Nick, without me, kind of had floated the idea of starting a podcast. Eventually just kind of ended up where, I don't know. I don't actually remember exactly how it happened, but they ended up floating the idea to me to start a podcast, and we kind of just took off from there. So, I guess to also give you some context, we started this in July, probably late July of this year over the summer. All of us had, MCP. For me, at least, sometimes it took a back burner to other games, or I just think I took 3 months off randomly last year. So I was getting back into it, and we were all kind of really excited about it. And so from there, we sort of just decided to, dive deep. And this is all to give you kind of a story of that in that context. And still now to this day, we don't expect anything. We never expected anything from this. We thought maybe our local Maine people, maybe New Hampshire would listen to this. And so the fact that, we're over 2,000 viewers or listeners is just crazy to me. And I know it is to the other guys. They just couldn't be here right now. It's way easier to record on your own because you can make the time. But anyways, that being said, this kind of took off in a way we never expected. We understand that the Marvel Crisis community is relatively small, and we have been trying to kind of dive into other, skirmish games. 40K, well, none of us really play it that much, to be fair, but 40K, AOS, they kind of all have their own space. And then there's the skirmish game kind of space, and, different games float in between one another. Like Infinity is pretty popular. Lord of the Rings can be popular depending on your area, and that's the thing with these skirmish games is a lot of them are very, area based. So it depends what's getting popular at the time. That being said, MCP seems to have gained more and more traction over the years, along with Shatterpoint and other AMG products, the ones that they didn't discontinue. But anyways, so when we originally kind of started this off, we thought small listeners, and then as time went by, we started getting people from, Australia. We have European listeners, lots of people in England, Canada, outside the US. There's some random countries, and I saw some Scandinavian listeners in there. So it's really cool, to be honest. This, much like any gaming community, you can really have the opportunity to connect with people that you wouldn't otherwise. And so that's all my roundabout way of saying thank you so much. We really are just incredibly grateful to be doing this at all. And we're doing it for fun. And we like to talk about MCP. We like to have guests on. And to be honest, since we kind of started this podcast, my connections in the space have grown and grown. Stephen Maddox was pretty much not the only one, but he was primarily the one that was talking to people. He joined all the Discords, likes all the podcasts, but, you go to a tournament now, and, I just went to a standoff recently, and, people know who you are, and they're, some people come up to you and they're like, oh man, I love your podcast, which was so rewarding. Not that we're doing this for it to be rewarding, but it's very cool, I guess, to have someone come up and just be supportive, and we really appreciate that. And so I guess this is all just to say thank you. We hope that, fundamentally this game and gaming in general, it comes down to community. You can smash your opponent in the face as much as you want, but in reality, it's that time across the table from someone, or that time spent talking to someone about, just things that they really love. People love this game. People love the Marvel characters, put a lot of time, put a lot of energy into making them look cool in the tabletop. A lot of time, a lot of energy thinking about how to play in their lists, and also just kind of enjoying the game. So, at the end of the day, this is just connecting people, and thank you so much for being kind of a part of this journey. It's really, really cool. For some context, I guess, since we're here and we have some content to fill, I'll give you just some rundowns or some cool highlights of like some of our listeners' behavior over the last few months. So, or the span of our podcast. So in general, sorry, my thing is not loading. So in general, we're at above, 2,000 listeners with above 3,000 downloads. And so if you don't know the podcast space, unique listeners, and then downloads means more consistent listeners. But the more interesting stuff, so we have a pretty huge viewership in Canada. We have some people in South America. It doesn't seem like the game's taking off down there. Our second most is actually the UK, followed by Canada and Australia. And shout out to you, Australian people. But we have a weirdly huge following in Sweden, Germany, Norway, Denmark. So we have some Russian. We have Egypt on here, and India. Shout out to Japan and South Korea as well. So it's really cool to be part of this community. We hope you all feel like you're part of it too. I know we maybe just abstract things you listen to in your car or on the subway or whatever mode of transportation you take. But, you can join our Discord. There'll be a link below. You can also reach out to us anytime. We really love the communication, because that's what this is all about. And so just in terms of, I guess I'll just close out with here. Thank you so much. We hope you and your families have a really amazing Thanksgiving if you're from the United States or you're celebrating it randomly. And if you're not from the United States and you want to celebrate it randomly, just buy stuffing. It's my favorite food, so you'll be doing me a solid. But yeah, our podcast continues to grow and we continue to expand and have collaborations with different channels, RSMP being the biggest one right now. We've all been on there for battle reports, so all three of us have been on there at separate times. But in terms of next stuff, I don't ever I know at the end of a lot of episodes we're always like, oh yeah, coming next, and then things happen and we release different things. But that being said, I think the initial plan here is so we're live on one TTS tournament just wrapped up. The second one is open for signups, starts on December 8th. So you can find that link in our Discord, which you can join below. We have a pretty big event. I think it's probably sold out or close to it, but you can get on a waiting list for Everwinter. It's our big Northeastern event run by our friend Brian Watson. I want to say it. Sorry, Brian. But yeah, so that's coming up in January. We are in the works or starting to develop a live on one cancer event. Some of us in this podcast have been pretty affected by some cancer issues, and so we want to start kind of a yearly charity event surrounding that. I think our first one will work with Midgard in New Hampshire to and Brian to sort of develop this idea. Not sure if we'll be playing or TOing or whatnot there, but we'll definitely be hosting an in-person tournament where we can raise money for cancer research and all things kind of, sad surrounding that topic, but raising some money for that. So stay tuned for that information. That'll be kind of the next big thing we're doing after Everwinter. It will be in and around the time of Adepticon, I think, unless we can kind of finagle some different scheduling there. But that's coming. So join our second tournament. We will be sending out kind of a little gift basket to the winner of those tournaments. It is the TTS tournament is 2 weeks, and we're restructuring it where if you lose one game, you don't have to keep your list locked, but if you're undefeated, you have to keep your list locked. That way we have some more malleability surrounding kind of like funness, and you don't have to continually play a list that maybe didn't work for you a couple times. That being said, is there anything else? So new content coming up. We are working on a Weapon X episode. Kind of the same thing we did with Sentinels. Just kind of taking a maybe not so great faction and building out some lists, having some discussions around that. We will have the winner of our first TTS tournament come on and do a tournament recap with us. He played Spiderfoe, so that is actually some really interesting stuff right there. Beat some like pretty decent players, so he's doing things right. After that, we're planning on doing a Makana episode with a local player here, Phil, so try to get him on. Brian's probably due for another episode soon too, especially Everwinter coming up. But anyways, got some great content around the block. It is the holiday season, so just be cognizant that our goal is, so as our listeners, our goal is once a week. For those who are kind of just tuning in, we've all been really busy. Nick and I are in school, which creates some difficulties. My school personally is super intense, but I do have about a week off, or a month off, sorry, coming up. So book your games with me now. I'll be looking to play. But that being said, yeah, some exciting things coming up. You can join our Patreon, and also we're trying to get more swag. On our Patreon right now, we have a t-shirt, and I know it's high priced. It just has to do with the kind of volume of orders, and we don't make any money off of this, so we're trying to just kind of have it affordable for us to get swag out there. The best way to get free swag is to play in our TTS tournament, and we can send you something from the channel. So we have some more ideas surrounding that eventually. But anyways, I've already talked probably too long by myself. So thank you for listening. Just wanted to give you an update. It's also, just a nice time to say thank you. And so, in all sincerity, um, it's awesome to be able to do this. It's awesome that people are listening. And it's really awesome to kind of start to connect people. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, if you're American, please have a good meal, eat lots of food, watch some football maybe. But we really, really, really appreciate, the engagement and everything you, have been doing just by listening to this. You're allowing us to continue to speak. So, with that, thank you so much. And as always, we're alive on one. And stay tuned for some more regular, cool MCP and possibly other gaming content. So, with that, thank you. And Godspeed, Spider Man. Bye.